Hi, virtual students. It's your virtual art teacher, Virtual Miss Burchett, and I'm here today to show you a little bit about some new things we've got going on in our class. And we'll want to remember that we're working on our behavior matrix. And so things like being kind by taking care of materials and being kind by leaving things better than we found it are going to be really important today, both to help us as artists to have really nice materials and always know where things are, and just to be kind to others. So let's start our tables, because you guys are going to do some artwork in just a few minutes. You're being very patient and very kind right now. At your tables, we've reorganized your materials just a little bit, so I want to show everyone what you're going to find. Okay, here is the yellow table, and we've got a slightly different bucket for everyone to use today, but a lot of the materials that are in here are the same as last year, and there's even a few newer things. We've got a cup that's got some pencils. Now, you might find a pencil that's not so sharp. If that's the case, we can trade that in for a nice sharp pencil. There should be some sharp pencils located near the door. I'll show you those in a minute. There's also some colored pencils down in there. If you can't find the color that you need, let me know. We'll make sure pretty soon those buckets have all the colors in them. There should be 4 pairs of scissors, one for everyone. They're exactly the same, so we're going to be kind. We don't need to fight over scissors. Everybody gets one. There are 2 cups of markers. We had these last year, same thing, and they worked really nice. Most of these, if they don't already have a color code on them, they will soon. So you might have to dig in there just a little bit to find out which color it is. That tape's going to help us make sure our markers don't get lost. There's 2 so that each side of the table can have all the colors of markers, and we don't have to fight over them. We don't have to reach. They're not hard to get. So when we're done with those, we're going to put them back in our bucket. Last year we always had glue at our tables. We've got the glue bottles again. Something new this year, I've put out some pencil sharpeners and some erasers. So if you're using those pencils and they're not so sharp, I said you could trade them out, but you also could just sharpen them. If the sharpener gets full of little bits and pieces of pencil shavings, something else that's new this year is we've got a tabletop trash can. It's pretty empty right now, but if by the end of class it's full of garbage, you'll want to empty that so you can be kind to others and they can have an empty trash can to start. Now the glues are sitting up a little bit high. That's because if you pull this tray out, there's a magical surprise hiding under there. I've put some oil pastels down in the bottom. Just like the markers, there's 2 trays, and that way we can put one on one side of the table. We can put one on the other side of the table, and nobody has to reach too far. Same thing with the markers if you're using them both. We've got one for each side of the table. When you're all done using your materials, you might not need to use all the materials every day, but whatever you use, at the end of class, when the cleanup song starts, you're going to know you need to put all of your materials back how you found them, hopefully leaving them even better than you found them. And there we have it, a nice, clean, and organized table. The other space that I wanted to show you on this video, because it's a little hard to see, is our shelf. We're going to call this the maker space this year. So if you finish early, you can get permission to go to the maker space. And we've got some of the same things in here as we had last year. We've got some coloring pages. We've got some crayons. This is kind of neat. We've got some fancy scissors, and they're in a nice thing to spin. Help us make sure that the fancy scissors, the ones that cut in those neat shapes, end up back in the maker space. Don't get those mixed up with the ones at the tables. We've got hole punches. We've got a whole shelf here with paper. There's white paper, warm colors. They kind of look like fire, cool colors, paper crimpers, and we've even put out some yarn for you guys. So if you finish early and you've got permission, you can choose something in there. Again, we want to think about being kind and respectful. Only take what you can actually use in the time that we've got left. So you can only color one piece of paper at a time. You can only color one coloring page at a time. You can only use one hole punch at a time. You can only use one pair of scissors at a time. Be respectful of others and share. Okay, that's all that virtual Miss Burchett has to tell you, but I bet the real Miss Burchett still has a few more things to share with you. So hang in there. We're almost done. I promise we're going to get you to the tables really fast. You guys are being great. Thank you. Bye.